fills me up and it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring me sunlight. Is it all you need to feel this heat? To feel like everything's all that you dreamed? Is it all too much? Did you get enough? Does it set on fire all the things that you touch? And it fills me up and it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring me sunlight. Fills me up and it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring me sunlight. And it's all you need to feel this heat, to feel like everything's all that you dreamed. And is it all too much? Did you get enough? Does it set on fire all the things that you touch? And it fills me up and it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring. Feel this heat.
Okie dokie. I am here. I am here. Hello, everyone. Alrighty. Move on. Second. Euphoric Acoustic. Thank you for the 24 months. Wow. A treasure train. Oh, nope. Okay, hold on, please. Hold, please. Okay. Okay. All right. Anon, thank you so much for the 5 gifteds. I'm wondering why I'm following you. I think it was because you're on a podcast I listened to as a guest. Was it a bit fruity, perhaps? Perhaps. Okay, let me guess. You already want out, don't you? Like I'm trapped. I'm trapped in here. This diva. Skill Cylinder, thank you so much for the 5 gifteds. Thank you. Who else we got here? Euphoric, thank you for the 24 months. Vate, thank you for the 9 months. Liquid Trains, thank you for the 11 months. Faith 3, thank you for the 11 months. Awesome Ryan, thank you for the 15. Tara, thank you for the 28. Sheriff Hood, thank you for the Prime. Emerson, thank you for the 21 months. Josh, thank you for the 8. Sunbun, thank you for the 42. Kristen, thank you for the 18 months. All right, I apologize. I apologize that there is no cooking stream today. I had some personal stuff that unexpectedly happened. It's okay, you already cooked on Twitter. Yeah, I didn't even mean to cook ContraPoints as hard as I did, but I think that is indicative of how much people are over her. So I did all my cooking. I did all my cooking on Twitter. Cutie McBooty, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Alexandra, thank you for the 10 months. I hope everything is okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, just some sad stuff. Some sad stuff. Yeah. Nothing to do with me. So don't be worried about that. Obviously I'm not going to like share the specifics, but just helping a friend through just a friend who sadly has a partner who is in the throes of addiction, which is really tough. And before you try and guess like streamers, remember I have a whole life outside of streaming. I have a whole life outside of streaming. I have a lot of people in my life who are not in streaming, so please don't try and guess a streamer. It's not anything to do with streaming, but it's a tough situation. It's tough, and I think it's something that a lot of people have experience with. Maybe not themselves being a person who has struggled with addiction, but people in their life, because unfortunately addiction is a disease that affects a lot of people. It's very common, and it's something that I think it's hard to recognize for a while. It does not discriminate, no. And it's hard to recognize it when it's happening to someone that you love, because you don't think that You always think like addiction is something that happens to other people, you know, that you're not, you're like, that's not going to happen in my life. Not with someone I'm super close to, but people don't understand until you're actually in that situation of drugs completely changing the person you love. Right. And it usually starts with behavioral changes that are indicative of something being very wrong when people start acting in a completely different manner than you know them to. To my knowledge, you just turn on the camera and appear on my screen every night, and then when you disappear, you just sit in the dark waiting to turn on the camera again. Yeah, it's true. I basically just sit there waiting to go live again. It's like trying to save a drowning person. They often drown everyone trying to help them too. And the thing about addiction is that it hurts everybody. It's not just the person who is consumed by addiction. It is everyone around them. And man, oh man, people who are in the throes of addiction will do anything to stay on that course. Anyway, the Jackal, thank you for the Prime. Thank you. So, not trying to be too not trying to start off our Sunday stream and have things be super depressing, but yeah. Anyway. The vibes are up. Yes, we will be getting the vibes up. I promise. It's hard to watch your loved one go through it as well. I felt helpless many times. Yeah, I think that's such a... I think that's a commonly felt a struggle that is common with those who have loved ones dealing with addiction, is that you do feel helpless and you do feel crazy too, because often they'll turn things around and gaslight you and make you feel like you're the problem, because you are the problem, because you're getting in the way of the addiction. The addiction's not the issue. They don't see it as that. They're like, no. You are the one getting in my way. Christian, my love. Hi, darling. I'm 17 days sober from alcohol. Was drinking every night as something I just normalized. Had a very scary health emergency that made me realize how much that shit isn't worth it. Congratulations. Sobriety is not easy, but it is a journey. And I hope that, I hope it's one that you can stick with and also give the necessary grace to yourself as you struggle, because it is a lifelong thing. I think that's the thing that people don't tell you. And so I'm happy that you have been able to accomplish that, and I hope you're able to keep it up. Proud of ya. One day at a time. Yep. Quick react. Oh, is this from the finale of Master Baker? Yes, I will take a look at this. Hope your friend and their partner are okay. Yeah, I hope everything will be okay too. I think I think the one thing that I've realized here is how important, sorry, I cannot talk today. I think I'm talked out. I've gotten to stream. I'm like, I don't know if I can form words anymore. I've been talking a lot, but I think it's really reminded me of the importance in having a support system. We all need support systems because life is difficult, and because when things get difficult, we need people that we can rely on. Yeah, we live in a society. We need people that we can rely on, that can support us. And I hope for all of you that you have a support system. This community can be that for you. So it's not all dark and bleak out there. We are such social creatures by nature. We cannot survive without one another. It's so true. Yeah. I was thinking about that last night. It was like the way that the whole point of humanity is connecting. You know, it's like all of us as individual human beings inhabiting the same space as one another. And just naturally are social creatures and rely on one another. We need each other. My family was there for me. I'm forever grateful for that. Never push out your friends and family chat. You don't have to do this alone. And I think sometimes what happens is when you get really deep in addiction, you may reach a point where you have pushed everyone away because they've tried everything, and then they come to the sad but necessary conclusion that they have to cut you out, that perhaps the only way you will get better is through that. It's not an easy decision to make, but sometimes it is necessary. But what I would say is a reminder that it's because of love. It's because it's people who love you. And if you can manage to recognize that and to get on a path to recovery, there are people who will still be there, but you have to show them that you understand, and you have to show them that you are trying to get better. And so now you are needing their support in that. Actually caring and listening to my wife finally brought me to the ride of sobriety. I'm forever grateful for the love I felt and knew I didn't want to lose. Oh, and the kids too. Yeah, sometimes you just get to rock bottom. I have another friend that happened with last year, and it was the same thing. It was like got to a point where there was nothing that we could do anymore. And after he essentially lost everything, that's when he was able to see that his addiction that he had succumbed to it, and it had resulted in that. So, and now he's doing better. You know, there is hope. There is a light at the end, that if you just keep going down the path, you will find it. Also, if you don't have a support system, reach out to people in the communities you participate in. There are a lot more good people than we think. Yes, that is the beauty of community, is there are people in community with you who have been there, who have the tools to help you. So reach out, you know, in the various communities that you are in. I was really close to doing that. I had to be ready. It'll be 15 years in May, and you definitely can't alone, but only the person can decide when it's over. Yeah, true that. And I'm happy for you. Happy for you. See, we got people sharing their stories. You know, I think the thing is that there's a lot of shame around addiction, and it's why people struggle to acknowledge that they have a problem, because of how much shame there is. And I think the first step is in trying to free yourself of that and know that you do have a responsibility here. you do have agency and you need to act on that and you need to be responsible. But at the same time, like it is a disease, and it is one that affects a lot of people. And there are companies and very, very wealthy individuals who have made a lot of money off of making many people addicted to substances, and all the marketing that they spend a lot of money on. They do that because it makes them very rich. So on the one hand, it's not your fault, but you do need to take responsibility, and you have to make the choices for yourself, because no one else can do that for you. But I think just remembering that it happens to a lot of people, and it is an incredibly insidious disease, and that it can happen to anyone. You know, you get in an accident, you have back pain, you're prescribed met pills to help with the pain, and next thing you know, you are addicted. So that happens all the time. People who turn to substances because of the stresses of life, of which there are so many, and it's the one thing that makes them feel, it's the one thing that'll make them feel numb, the thing that they then think that they need in order to survive. Do you think Requiem for a Dream movie night confirmed? I would give you guys ample warning before I ever did that film for film class. I'd be like, so I'm going to warn y'all like a month out. I am going to give you ample warning. I got addicted to alcohol about 10 years ago after a close family member committed suicide. It's a daily struggle. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people end up addicted to something. And often those reasons are why we need to have empathy for people who struggle. But empathy does not mean justification, and does not mean an excuse for not trying to take a hold of your life. They gave you oxycodone for minimal pain. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will just straight turn it down because they're so scared of getting addicted. They jump from muscle relaxers to oxy. Yeah. Empathy, but not codependence. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, just wanted to send love and strength to anybody out there who is struggling, anyone who has a loved one who's struggling with addiction. It is no easy battle, and it is something that can then consume your life. So you also have to take care of yourselves, you know? That's kind of been some of the advice that I've been trying to offer to my friend, where I'm like, at a certain point, you know, you have to care for yourself too, because addiction will consume your life, even if you're not the one who's addicted. But it will take over your entire life when the person that you're closest to is in the throes of it. So lots of love, lots of strength, lots of support, all of that. Sending it out to y'all. Okay, well, I am. I will tell you what we're going to do for film class, because the only other thing that I wanted to really look at is the Strokes at Coachella last night, which I was sitting on my couch having a glass of wine and dumbstruck at what the Strokes did. What the Strokes did at Coachella. I watched it 4 times in a row because I was so shocked, honestly. I'm like, damn, they're straight up calling out CIA terrorism. This isn't just like a fuck Trump or fuck what's happening in this world. It was like, here's the history. Here's a brief history of CIA terrorism. All of the destabilization and destruction that the United States government has been responsible for around the world. Yeah, man. And I did notice that a lot of the clips have been copyright struck, which may be because it's Coachella, but also maybe because the Strokes fully called out CIA terrorism. They did the same thing with Saint Levant, who I think it was last year. Saint Levant, who's a Palestinian, he's a Palestinian artist, and his set at Coachella was fully dedicated to Palestine. Coachella does love to do this in general. They do love to just disable clips out there. They are pretty serious about it. So it might just be that, or it could be it could be because of this. Here's one. Okay. I didn't forget about looking at the clip from Master Baker. I'll look at that afterwards. Also, I need y'all to know, the Strokes were playing main stage and they were the act before Justin Bieber. So there was like an hour, I think, in between the Strokes and Justin Bieber. So a lot of Beliebers, a lot of Bieber fans were at the stage, not because they are fans of the Strokes, but because they got there early to ensure getting good spots for Bieber. So I couldn't stop laughing about it, thinking of the hordes of Beliebers who are just waiting for this to be over and for Justin to come on. And then they're learning about the CIA overthrow of Mossadegh in 1953. Okay, hold on. Let me turn this up. Am I crazy? Is that not? Sorry, I have this cranked and it's still pretty quiet. Like, yo, before they got to this end part here, you know, artists will usually close out, say some words, you know, like, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. And they started talking about Bieber CHELLA. They're like, that's kind of a strange name. That doesn't really seem to flow, but whatever. And then they started to, or Julian started to say something, and then he just goes, I think he says whatever. And then they just go into this. And this is the song Oblivious. And it hasn't been performed by the Strokes in concert since 2016. And the line that's repeated in the song, in the chorus, is, "What side are you standing on?" He does that a lot. I don't really know the Strokes that well. Like, I know their music somewhat, but I haven't been a diehard fan or know much about them. So that's why, like, I watched this over and over again, because it kind of seemed to just come out of nowhere. They're doing the show. He's starting to he's starting to talk. He makes some jokes about CHELLA, and then he's like, all right, whatever. And then they go into this, and then they just end it. They just end it and walk off stage. Strokes existed before you could see every deal of your favorite band on Instagram. Yeah, they've been around for a long time because Julian started the band when he was a teenager. A clip in the Discord of the performance. It's much louder. All right, let me see. Thank you. Farks. Why does it do this? Let me go to, sorry, I just want you guys to be able to hear this. Where is, why does it do that thing where it tries to open up? Like, it won't just open it up in my Discord app. It's still up on the main stage live stream if you rewind it 10 hours. Okay, hold on. Let me go. The Strokes. Coachella. Set. Nope. That's from weekend 1. Coachella set. Weekend 2. Didn't Julian also say tempted to come out tonight with a laptop and show you guys some of those around Lego videos? Yeah. Yep. Okay, wait. Why don't I see the Coachella live? Coachella live set.
When you come around,
happening. It's Sunday. Oh. Yes. It is. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was over. Here we go. If I go back. Okay.
I guess they're hard to combine, but I tried. All right, guys. Well, it's been a heck of a ride.
There we go. Matthew, thank you for the 6 months. Bricky, thank you for the 2 months.
Not gonna lie, I'm not sure how I feel about
Sunrise,
the
thank you
name
for the 4
CHELLA.
months.
I don't know if that's the catchiest. I guess they're hard to combine, but I tried. Like Coach Eber? Nope. No, I'm down. I'm gonna watch. Excited, yeah.
What is he even saying? I don't know.
All right, we got one song left. And then back to my cave. Whatever.
Yeah, see, he just goes, whatever. And then goes into it.
It's not my midnight yet. I'm the Goldbox versus that cheap Wall Street. But take me, 'cause this is my best advice. We're
understand why I was laughing so hard last night watching this, thinking of all the believers in the crowd who are waiting for Justin to come on afterwards. And now they're learning about the CIA operation in Iran to overthrow a democratically elected Mossadegh. He's like, what side are you standing on? People in the audience are like, well, I guess I'm on the left side of the... I'm on the left! I'm on the left! Everyone on the right side of the stage rushes over to be on the left. Julian's left or my left? What, like stage left?
Take off on the runway, thinking of us sadly, playing with his new toy, looking at the saddle. One side, you stand up. One side, you stand
People being like, wait, are we racist? Is America a racist country? The believers are starting to believe. Julian, I'm sorry your father's Epstein crew. At least he's dead. Butterstains, thank you for the 12 months. Anto, thank you for 12 months. Are there lyrics? You just need to know the line, what side are you standing on? Like, they're going in. And then that's it. The end. believers are like, when's Justin coming on? But other ones who are like, damn, I have now been made aware of the decades of the CIA overthrowing governments in South America, assassinating leaders, assassinating civil rights leaders in the United States, and that this continues all the way up to today, connecting their actions to assassinations in Iran, the current bombing campaigns all across the Middle East. It goes all the way to the top. And then Justin comes on stage and they forget all about that. They're like having this huge moment, this reckoning. And then Justin comes on and plays, I don't know, the double rainbow again. They're like, yeah! Justin performed one time with his... And that's personally more important to me, but I'm glad y'all like that. You know what? I know you would have been one of these believers at that stage. Be like, but where's Justin? That's cool and all, but bring Justin out. The other thing that I want to mention is, if you recall, last year, Kneecap caused a real controversy when they spoke out against Israel's war crimes in the Middle East. Now, they had a lot more profanity that was used. Oh, gasp! And it so greatly upset Sharon Osbourne that she was calling on them to lose their passports and to be criminally prosecuted. Sharon Osbourne, who is planning to attend the far-right anti-immigration, anti-Muslim march in the UK that is organized by Tommy Robinson. But yeah, remember that happened last year? Kneecap at Coachella. They will never be going back. So considering that happened last year, and this year, I don't know, the video team did not cut away at all. They played the whole montage and they showed it on screen. So I guess Kneecap should have brought a whole ass slideshow. Yeah, maybe if Kneecap had a whole slideshow, all these visuals. But yeah, that's pretty wild to happen on a main stage, I gotta say. Calling out U.S. crimes is safer than calling out Israeli crimes. I mean, it is one and the same. But I see what you're saying, but there isn't it's the same crimes, you know? It's all tied together, yeah. Forgetting it was calling out Israel, not the U.S. Yeah, but I guess even the reference to the last university in Gaza, because they are the United States crimes. And that's something that I think is actually bothering me. And I think people are, not everyone obviously, but some people have lost sight of the fact that the United States is the number one big bad. The United States is the most powerful terrorist organization. Now, has Benjamin Netanyahu been running circles around Donald Trump because Donald Trump's such a fucking idiot? And did you do the same thing to Joe Biden, who was like, Zionism, Jack. Yes, Zionism, Jack. I love it. Yes, but that does not change the role that the U.S. has played for a long time. Israel does not have the power it has without the U.S. We politically, financially, militarily, socially support them. And I think something I've noticed is MAGA former allies of Trump, like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, they have been fomenting this narrative that makes it seem as if Trump is being blackmailed, that he's being taken advantage of, that he's being tricked, that he's being manipulated, all those things. That is essentially taking the responsibility off him and off the United States government and saying that, oh, Israel is forcing all this. Like Israel has forced, has tricked Donald Trump, has manipulated Trump and the U.S. into invading Iran, into supporting it and all of its criminal activity. It's like, well, now hold on a second. Well, now let's not act as if the United States is the small being here who is not serving its own interests. So they're calling him stupid. They're calling him a victim of manipulation and potential blackmail. Like that's the train of thought that they're on right now. They're wanting people to connect these dots leading to, like, I don't know, Miriam Adelson and the state of Israel blackmailing Donald Trump. And so the way that then some people are taking this, the conclusions they're drawing is that Israel is the one that's in control. And it's like, man, come on. We're talking about the United States government. We're talking about the richest, most powerful country in the world, most powerful military, 800 fucking bases around this globe. No military comes close in developed nations, in the top 10 nations. No military comes close to the U.S. military. And I think the thing is that as far as the blackmail goes, do I think that Donald Trump has in the past or potentially now been blackmailed? I would never rule that out. He's got so many crimes that he has committed, so much corruption that he is entangled with. But Donald Trump that's the thing. He's a very corrupt individual. He's like the epitome of corruption. So what the actual reality is that Donald Trump does what his donors want him to do. Donald Trump, like all politicians in the United States, with the exception of some, are beholden to their donors. Donald Trump is more than happy to take money, to get favors, to get whatever, and then in exchange give his donors and his powerful allies whatever they want. So many uninformed people still think that the U.S. is the most moral nation, or at least far better than the terrorists overseas. I think it's easier. You know what it is? I think for some people, it's easier and more comfortable for them to remove the U.S. from the equation insofar as they're not the ones who are actually steering the ship. They're not the ones who are orchestrating, who are leading the charge. They are being fully controlled by the Israeli government. Like, this is what the right wing has really, the narrative that they've really fermented and are pushing pretty heavily. From Charlie Kirk being assassinated by Israel to Trump's staged assassination being the result of Miriam Adelson blackmailing him. And it's not what's getting confused here is the truth that, yes, Benjamin Netanyahu is whispering in Trump's ear everything that he wants to hear, but also Trump is so easy. This guy is like, how to convince him to do something is you tell him he's the greatest in the world and that no other president has ever done it and that it's going to be super easy and that he'll get a Nobel Peace Prize. Everybody will love him. He'll be the greatest of all time. He'll be the GOAT of all US presidents. Like that's it. That's what you tell him. And he's like, okay. So people are confusing like Netanyahu's understanding of how to get Trump to do what Netanyahu wants with the United States not having a vested interest for decades in the Middle East. Like the US absolutely has sought to militarily take over in Iran, just not the way that Trump is doing it. So like that's the difference with Democrats who are total war hawks when it comes to the Middle East, and with Donald Trump. It's the way that he goes about it. It's the way that he is so obviously stupid and easily pushed in a direction by the last person who's whispered in his ear, as long as you just inflate his ego and tell him that he'll be the greatest of all time, the goatliest of all goats. Netanyahu's just a symptom. Yeah, and Netanyahu is he's one prime minister. He's fucking evil, don't get me wrong, and he has for decades wanted to invade Iran. Like this has been a goal of his for a long time, but Netanyahu is, yeah, he's a symptom, just as Trump is. They're all evil. It's all corrupt, girl. I said that to my mom on the phone. I was like, it's all corrupt, girl. And I didn't tell her I didn't tell her the context, and she just goes, it is. It is. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Corpse Grinder, thank you for the 7 months. Ooh, Spicy, thank you for the 2 months. You know what? And it doesn't even matter what we were talking about because it is all corrupt, girl. If Bibi dies, the violent settlers and IOF will still be violent. If Bibi dies or is removed from power, there will be the next person, right? Like there is still the apartheid state of Israel. There is still Israel that rests on the project of Zionism, which Zionism rests on the oppression of the Palestinian people, on the subjugation of the Palestinian people, on ethnically cleansing and militarily occupying Palestinian lands. So that doesn't change even if you remove Netanyahu from power. The drive to achieve an ethno majority, that is still there. Smotrich and Ben Gavir are waiting long. Yeah, it's like there are, believe it or not, people who are even more deranged, who are even more evil, as fucking evil as Netanyahu is. There are ones who are even more extreme, but anyway, this is not about individuals. This is about an entire fascist settler colonial project. That's always been the problem. It's been the problem since the get-go. In order to set up the state of Israel, they ethnically cleansed a majority of Palestinians from the lands that they had been living on, from their homes, from their villages, to move in and create the state of Israel. So I think a lot of Americans on the left struggle with the idea that A, we are ultimately bad guys even if there are other bad actors, and B, we are fading and dying as an empire. Our job is to minimize the damage we do as we go. Yeah, and I think people forget, as much as we talk about it, I think people forget the United States own origins, the settler colonizers that came over to these lands inhabited by indigenous peoples and did a lot of killing and a lot of cleansing, and we've never stopped colonizing. That's true. And then we stole people from their homelands and took them over here and built out an extremely exploitative capitalist system off the backs of stolen bodies. And here we are today. Yeah, founded on genocide, a genocide that has never stopped. Did you see this at Coachella last night? I'm not going to lie. The only thing I watched from Coachella last night was The Strokes. All right, I'm going to tell you guys something. I have never been a believer. I don't think Justin's bad. Sorry, Josh, you might want to tune out. You might want to tune out. But in the 2000s, I was not a person who was drawn to male performers. I'm muting you. Don't worry. Okay, good. I just never got on board. I was never like into One Direction. I was never into Justin Bieber. I was never into boy bands or boys. I was not into boys. So I just never really got it. I never really got it because I was out here always with the pop girlies and my divas, you know, Whitney, Celine, Mariah. Like I was for the divas and really all the girls. Ed Sheeran ? No. I was not for the divas and Ed Sheeran. I will say. I was Broadway Max. Yes, I was obviously listening to a lot of musical theater. I loved my opera divas as well. Okay, my opera and musical theater divas. I just, you know what? I am somebody who prefers female performers. I love women's voices, and I love the pop divas. It's always been my thing. You weren't a Cheerio. Is that what Ed Sheeran fans are called? No, there's no way. Cheerios? You had to have just made that up. No. Oh, Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh, God. Have you ever seen the musical Urinetown or Carrie? I've listened to soundtracks. I haven't seen them on stage, though. Justin Bieber played in my high school auditorium in Indiana in 2009 or 2010. Around that time, 2008, 2009, Justin Bieber came to my town in Iowa where I went to high school. And I think he had a show or something, I'm assuming. But he was on video going into a Walmart and bought a bunch of watermelons and went in the parking lot and was just smashing them. And I think 16, 17-year-old me was like, see, this is why I'm only for the girls, because I don't understand this. You're from Iowa. I'm from Chicago. I feel I'm from Chicago, but I went to high school in Iowa. And when I went to high school in Iowa, like I was going and seeing, I saw like Demi Lovato and stuff. But Justin came into town, and I don't know why, but he went to the Walmart that was like 15 minutes from my house and bought watermelons and was just breaking them in the parking lot. It's just smashing watermelons. My coworker was there, was in the Walmart, or oh, it was a Target? I thought it was a Walmart. You sure it was a Target? I'll believe you. It was a long time ago. I'm sure I've gotten my things mixed up. But your coworker was, hold on, your coworker was there when Justin Bieber was smashing watermelons in, maybe it happened multiple times. Maybe he was just going around to all the giant chain stores and destroying watermelons. Maybe that was the tour. Yeah, he went to Target. He went to Walmart. It was a political protest. Smashing pumpkins, more like smashing watermelons. Topopotamus, thank you for the prime. Another brick in the Waluigi. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, anyway, those were my thoughts on the Strokes, aka the Wokes, at Coachella, which is still ongoing because it's Sunday. And who's the headliner tonight? Headliner Sunday, Coachella. Carol G, another person that my mother claims to have discovered and then claims that Carol G sold out. So crazy. It's crazy how many small indie artists my mother is frequently discovering and then shortly after concluding that they have sold out. You mentioned a baking clip. Yes, I did mention a baking clip.
No.
Wait, what is this what they made today? They made Barbie cakes?
Mind you, somebody said in chat, oh, is Christian the inspiration for this cake? Am I the inspiration for this fucking cake?
I mean,
what the fuck? Here I am.
Oh, this is yesterday.
Just trying to enjoy the master baking stream. And I see just fly by in the fucking chat. Oh.
Just trying to enjoy a little master baking.
This is a Christian inspired cake, right? Like Christian is the inspiration for this, right? Hello? I wasn't even chatting at that point. I just caught a stray. Am I the inspiration for this bukkake fucking?
Was this Austin's? Is this Austin's cake?
Come on, face cake? Yes.
Am I the inspiration? Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah. Of course, this was Austin's cake.
Enjoy the master baking stream. Fucking cake? What the fuck?
Austin had a long story for every plate he made. Did it involve more dead parents or almost dead parents? Or did he switch it up? If you want to know how what you tasted came to be.
Tomato. Yeah. Salt. Regular.
Bro, why did not one but two people say tomato when it came to the ingredients for baking the recipe? Because Austin's show also said tomato with, I think it was baking soda and baking powder.
It's the same. It's literally the same thing. Salt.
If Super TF is saying it's the same thing, it's literally the same thing, you know it's not. You know it's not the same thing. That is so much salt!
Okay. Also, I don't even know what you guys are looking at. Oh, okay.
Why? You can see me in the background. Look at me. So innocent. So unknowing.
Tomato.
Look.
Okay. Also,
Look,
why don't
here I am. Here I am, totally unaware. R.I.P. future Caroline. R.I.P. future me.
I don't know what you guys are looking at.
Just the two of us here. The two of us. I think we were talking about why do I say Meg the Stallion? Megan the Trainer. Megan Trainer's canceled tour and had no idea that Ray had just poured a cup of salt.
Oh, okay.
Moments before disaster. Oh, I was so young. I was so young. If you like theatrical music and you listen to an artist named Ren Gill, he's amazing, and I think you would like him. Okay. Ren Gill. Cutie got his ass back.
Did you?
I know. I was trying it.
Okay.
I can't tell the difference. It all tastes good to me.
Well, that's okay.
It's so much
Wait, they
sugar.
did continental
Okay.
breakfast? Oh, wow. Trumo, thank you for the bits. Just wanted to say good job roasting the fuck out of Laura Loomer on Twitter. You know, I don't respond often, but sometimes I can't help it. Laura Loomer goes, if you come for me, you better be ready to throw down because I will fuck you up so hard. Which, first of all, who the fuck talks this way? Who talks this way? And I said, considering how hard you fucked up your own face, I guess you weren't ready to throw down. I'm like, was Laura Loomer's first victim? Did Laura Loomer look in the mirror and was like, are you coming for me? Are you coming for me, bitch? And then fucked herself up so hard, and that's why she looks the way that she looks.
Yeah, it was like bubblegum.
Okay.
Also, I don't like Laura Loomer and the words come for me in the same sentence. I'm sorry. I know that you can technically say come for me. The meaning of that not being what the other come for me is. Like, could you at least have said come at me? Well, I don't know. I don't like it at all. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, yeah.
I know, that looks so beautiful.
It looked beautiful.
I'm
so that's
sorry.
something you should take into account. All right?
It looks nice. It looked
It looked
gorgeous.
like part of most like a
Let
story.
me tell you a story.
Oh no.
Have you ever heard about like a pirate on the sea?
Oh, Cutie's telling a story now.
And then out in the middle of the night, they see the most beautiful mermaid.
Yeah.
And they, they're this is incredible. It's so cool. And they see it and they bring her onto the boat and they're like, you're so cool. And then she fucking kills them all.
Is that what that was?
So sometimes looks aren't really.
Your skull was a siren.
Yeah, but she was still beautiful, so they'd rank her high in that department.
Taste the orange juice. How's the orange juice?
You didn't try your dough once, did you?
I was trying.
Did he lose? Because if he didn't, he deserved to lose. He deserved to lose just for telling all those goddamn stories. He tied for last was super. You know that he's taking that as, well, I didn't get last because it's tied for last. Who do you think won? I mean, despite the cup of salt on day one and ending up in last place, I'm guessing Ray or Emiru. I would say Ray or Emiru. It was Emmy. Okay. Rage did a surprising comeback. The comeback king.
Oh, I'm not sure this will make the difference that you guys think it will, but feel free.
Okay. In second place. Okay. It's between you two, right?
Yeah.
In second place, although. What is this again? Scone?
Scone.
Although you made a cookie. It was very delicious. Yeah. So, and you get second place. And you get.
Wait, what's the count? Tell me the count.
So
What's the count?
that means points. In third place is Valkyrie with 23 points.
Oh, I lost. I won.
And in first place overall for the entire competition, the winner of Master Baker is Emiru.
Wow. Austin shows like, wait, what about me?
I had no scope.
Good shit.
What is this? Just add a little sugar. Oh man. You cannot put this man in any situation other than drunk brunch. What the fuck is this? This is a hate crime. His scone was raw and gummy. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked it was raw and gummy.
Add a little sugar. Add a little sugar.
Oh, is that it? You just add a little sugar? He mixed a fucking fly in the dough? No. No. How? Oh, wait, that was yesterday? How the fuck? Austin.
Let me get the shot.
Austin, no.
Cinnamon flavor.
You're 21, right?
You're excited.
You're 21, right?
Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm really excited.
You really excited for what I gotta make?
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm gonna tell a great story with my dish.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Hello, guys. I'm just checking in.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you.
She's stressed.
I'm stressed.
Are you good?
No, it's not okay. I think I make frosting for my muffins.
Oh.
Yeah, those are supposed to be.
Don't really do a shot of whiskey.
You know what? Cheers.
This might help.
Yeah, well, I can't be the only one. That's rude.
Yeah. Now you're part of the team.
I'm part of the team.
Great. Yeah?
Good luck. Now you got the courage.
Just like the alcohol and the ice cream, the alcohol just blends out. Yeah. Austin got caught by one of the judges licking his fingers and not washing them. I feel like everything you're not supposed to do in a kitchen, all of the obvious don'ts, Austin did all of them. In fact, the more obvious of a don't, he did. Here's the bug moment. Oh my God.
So there was a bug that got in my cake.
There's a bug that got in your cake?
But you know, I just decided that I'm just gonna mix it in. So typically what you do with, you gotta eyeball the ingredients and you really gotta, I feel like if the bug
Now
gets
you're
in
trying to
there,
really kill it. You're trying to.
well, you won't even taste it. Really.
You definitely won't. Yeah,
And I feel like if you put it in there at 350 degrees, it kills all the bacteria.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about diseases.
Yeah.
I can spit in that. I'm not going to.
Sure.
But it would wash it out.
I'll tell you what, I watch a lot of cooking competition
Right.
shows in my day, and also I know, like in a restaurant,
Right.
stuff like this does happen,
Right.
You know, it shouldn't, but it does.
Right.
But watching cooking competitions, there'll be things that'll be like, oh, I saw you taste that spoon
Right.
and put it in your mouth,
Right.
you're eliminated or something. I was on a Food Network show, and I cut myself.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know who this guy is, but I fucking love his Britney Spears shirt.
On my cutting board.
Yeah.
Blood definitely got on that cutting board. They did not make me throw that prick away.
Of course not. Yeah, because it
Guys, you ate my blood.
It just cooks it out.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory.
Honestly, because I've got the mixer at such a high RPM, it'll mix it out too.
How long have you been mixing that for?
Well, you really want to get it to make a battery texture, and as you can tell here, folks.
Oh, they're both GMM.
I mean,
lock the bowl in.
I mean, look at that. I mean, come on. Are you kidding
So
me?
actually, you've gotten, against all odds, tremendous amounts of gluten development from a wet batter.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This?
I've never seen it.
I'm telling you.
Can I try it?
Yeah, please. Are you kidding me? Come on, have it.
Are you kidding me?
I'm proud of this.
That is a hell of a texture, the way that it's sort of
That's
like,
crazy.
the way that it heats off like that.
What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? I'm telling you.
That's something.
I don't want to say. I mean, you're too far gone to have to go back. I don't want to say you've overmixed
Take a
it.
spoon. Okay. Hey, Jeff, I know what I'm capable of. You know.
That is a great way.
I love how Austin treats every situation he's in with the same like showman. Oh, I'll sell this to you. I will sell this to you despite what you see with your own two eyes. Are you
the
kidding
little
me?
spork into that is crazy.
Please.
I think you see the little
Please.
bugs right there. Look at that.
I tell you what.
I think it's a fruit flyer.
This gun was
He didn't
fucking
survive.
Yeah, I think I got the
raw.
fly, actually.
Everybody loves my cake. You know what I mean?
I'm really excited to eat this. This is
Thank
going to
you.
be a unique cake
Thank
eating
you.
experience.
I'm gonna
I
have
think.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back. I'm gonna have to put it in here and start
We need queer eye for the queer guy.
putting the oven.
Very earnestly, you might invent a new texture today.
I think. Look, I think you guys are gonna be shocked. This is an old family.
I
recipe.
already am.
And let me tell you something, judges. It's not only about the cake; it's about the story that's gonna come with it.
Queer eye for the queer guy. Straight eye for the queer guy is
But
this.
I tell you,
Straight eye for the queer guy. Ren in Discord was cataloging Rosanna's reactions during this episode today. It's so funny to me that Cutie got a bunch of professionals to judge this time around. Usually she'll have like one, maybe two, but she brought in multiple actual talented competent bakers and chefs to experience this. This is every reaction. It really runs the spectrum here. Trevor worked with Michelin star chefs and got a taste that from Austin. Oh my God. Wait, she already announced the Streamer Awards? When are they? November 12th. November 12th, which is Thursday after Veterans Day. It's the Thursday after Veterans Day, and it is Austin Show's birthday. So obviously the theme of Streamer Awards is going to be Happy Birthday, Austin Show. Oh, it's right before TwitchCon? Wait, isn't TwitchCon usually in October? Did they switch it? I could have sworn TwitchCon is usually October. So I guess they're doing it November 13th weekend. So, okay. So her thinking is she's like, people are going to be coming in town. What's one extra day? The theme is Mesh Tops and Frank Sinatra. That's right. The musical performances at this year's Streamer Awards will be all renditions of Frank Sinatra's My Way.
Run! Oh my God, it's a big category, bro.
Jazzy Jasmine, thank you for the 2 months. Blythe, thank you for 14 months.
This is what it's about.
Tommy Michelle for
This is what it's about, boys.
Thank you guys so much.
It's just Engelbert. Oh my God, imagine that. Imagine the musical talent is Engelbert Humperdinck, and he sings Happy Birthday to Austin.
For joining us today. I hope you
How much do you think it would cost to get Engelbert Humperdinck?
had fun. The reason I put this show on is to bring us all together. There's so much negativity on the internet, but for one night a year, it feels quiet. These are the moments that make this industry beautiful, so please.
It can't be that much.
Right
He's
here,
like
this is a
100.
vehicle for togetherness.
Aw, G-Ma, G-Ma. He'll do it for the chance to get out of the house. What would happen if I reached out to Engelbert Humperdinck and asked if he would perform at the Streamer Awards, but I didn't tell anyone? Is that okay? Is that cool? Is everyone okay with that? If I actually bring out a surprise, I'm like, oh my God, hi everyone, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Great show. I actually have a surprise. Please put your hands together for a warm round of applause for the one, the only, Mr. Engelbert Humperdinck! And only Austin is standing up cheering. What? And everyone else is like, what'd she just say? Schmangelbert Humperfink? The hell is that? She just announced she has a venereal disease? My grandma loved Engelbert. Grandmama loved Engelbert. This is for you, Grandmama and Austin show. Best Streamer Awards, TBH. I mean, low-key. Low-key. Engelbert Humperdinck singing Quando, Quando, Quando at the Streamer Awards. Lowkirk, that would slap. I'd hate it. You'd love it. Trust. You have to trust in the process. I was watching some show a few weeks ago and Quando, Quando, Quando started playing on the opening scene. I had to close the tab. You just quietly close the tab. Like, not today. Not today. Talk to BB No Money and see if he'll do a remix. Yeah. That's an idea. Are you going back to China with Hassan? I am never going back to China with that man. No, I don't know. I mean, if we have the opportunity, I'd love to go back. I would suggest an impersonator instead, but Austin would be insulted. You didn't ask him to do it. Please, what is streamer Saikuno's response to cheating allegations has been dubbed over by Deku actor Justin Briner.
I would like to apologize to everyone.
Oh my God.
Most of all, to my girlfriend. I am so sorry. I put you through so much. I never want to make these mistakes again and hurt you and the people I care about. I was unfaithful. And I own and fully admit that. I lied to people and told them I was single, which I know is not right. I'm sorry to all of the people that I hurt by doing this. The following is not an attempt to minimize what I have done. However, I have seen some false accusations about me that are not true. I cannot allow false accusations and such extreme labels to be placed on me.
It's interesting because he doesn't go on to say what is true and what's not true. He just says it's not true.
I do understand.
What are
that
the false
people making these
allegations,
claims did it in
sir?
the place of hurt. So please do not send any more hate.
Do you know what's crazy to me? Somebody told me that Saikuno, I think this was during COVID, that Saikuno had an audience of 80% women. He was probably the only person in the gaming space to have an audience that was primarily women. And I heard that and I went, are you fucking kidding me? But it makes sense because he did this whole shtick. He did this whole character that made him appealing to female viewers. But I'm like, oh, God, why him? Why? He was role playing the whole time. And you know what? I kind of look at it like how I talk about all the time. Teenage girls drive the economy. Pop culture is what teenage girls decide. And like young women, teenage girls. And so they can make somebody a superstar, whether it is One Direction, whether it is the Beatles, whether it is Justin Bieber, whether it is Saikuno. They are so dedicated, and whether it's Taylor Swift, yes, pretty much the entirety of pop culture and who rises to global fame. Teenage girls are the kingmakers, yes. Like they did with Clueless, you know, these classic cult classic films that are often because of teenage girls driving the motion. Yet, and people make fun of teenage girls' interests, of course, right? They don't take them seriously. Twilight, exactly. They make fun of them. Star Trek got saved because of women in the 60s. Yes. Infinite examples. And anyway, I was just thinking with Saikuno that he kind of did the K-pop thing. Right. Like you look at K-pop. He did the K-pop thing. And I think that's also what drove teenage girls to his stream. And they just lifted him to ascension and a $4 million deal on YouTube. Bieber wouldn't be the highest paid Coachella headliner of all time without teenage girls. Also, he practically made his catchphrase a statement, but girls just aren't into me. Yes, he presented himself as like the I'm shy and I have a hard time talking to girls because I'm so shy. And he was like the sweet anime boy. Yeah, he was the ooh shy, sweet, soft anime protagonist, XP bar, low and all. I need a hug. Could you give me one? Yeah, he like baby girled himself. He's soft boy baby girled himself. He's a 35-year-old man. Anyway, I feel so bad for Ray and Lily catching so much hate because of all this. Every damn time people are more interested in attacking women who were around a man who is the problem, and they're less interested in going after the man. It's always going after the women. Yeah, I feel like I totally get Ray's frustration and why she will post things on Twitter, but at the end of the day, it's like nothing you say is going to appease these people. They will there's no way that you can act that's perfect enough for them. because they want to attack you. So they'll find a reason to. The comparison between the reaction from Kaide's breakup and Sykkuno is appalling. Yes, people are still harassing Kaide. They are still convinced that she is this she-devil who destroyed this poor man's heart and took advantage of him, was a gold-digging whore. I saw a holy shit quote the other day that said basically if a manipulative, abusive person is not grooming you as a victim, they're grooming you as a character witness. Yeah. So that later you come out and you're like, well, they never did it to me. In fact, they were perfect. So therefore, everyone is lying. Same thing with Sakura. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Caroline, I don't think being a character is a problem. Even a 35-year-old man can act on Twitch as a baby girl if he feels like it. The problem is saying you're a baby girl to manipulate. Well, that's part of it, though. Do you understand that his character creation was part of the manipulation operation, that he presented himself this way to these girls that he was seeking out, that he was going after? So it is all part of it. It's not like, and it's, well, what I was trying to, I get what you're saying. I was trying to explain the other day when we were talking about this. Twitch streaming is a performance because you're live and there's an audience here. And to a degree, all Twitch streamers are playing it up, right? They're entertaining. They are playing a character, which is usually just kind of an exaggerated version of themselves. But sometimes they take it to a whole other direction and they create this persona, in Sykkuno's case, that then allowed him to manipulate and frankly trick a lot of girls, because he's the type of guy that I'm sure they assumed that they would be safe around because of how he comes across on the internet. And then there's the whole element of him being famous and in the position of great influence. And he absolutely weaponized that. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem, okay? In my own life, I am not as famous as Sykkuno, but I still am a public figure. I'm a content creator. If there were 19-year-old boys who I started hitting up and they were fans of me, and so not only do I have power in this situation because I'm significantly older, but I'm also a person who they look up to, who they are a fan of, who I have influence over. That's how it fucking works when you're a fan. And trust me, people who are in the position of being the person who people are a fan of, they know that. They know that, especially when they abuse that. They are very aware of the influence that they have. And especially when they are 35 years old. That's the thing. It may be somewhat his personality. However, he's fully aware of how his female fans see him and how his persona could help him get girls and younger, smaller streamers. Yes, you have a responsibility when you are the person in that position. The messages with the 17-year-old are vile. And I'm sure more is just going to keep coming out. I'm sure more is going to keep coming out. I was on WOKES stream when he covered the last Google Doc from one of the girls. Sykkuno changes completely the way he texts exactly after he gets caught is insane. Yes, he is. He's I don't even want to. I guess master manipulator because of just how many people he was doing this shtick on. But also it's not having to, it's no like mastery because he's famous. He's famous. He has a lot of influence. And he was going after girls who were significantly younger and were in awe of him. So it doesn't really take a genius, you know, it's not some like great master manipulator where he's really pulling all these strings and whatnot. I will say though, keeping the girlfriend a secret, that is really something. Wow. I remember he used to cry or get upset when something happened in games. I truly believe he was too sensitive, fragile. He acted that way. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just all it's all part of the character, and I am really just tired of people not getting things. I'm tired of it. And not a secret to his fan base, a secret to his friends. Right. And that I fully believe. I fully believe that people didn't know. Because the thing is like you even, I was not in that group, but just being in the larger streamer sphere, you kind of become aware of people who are dating people, but it's private. You know, if you go to parties or you just hear, oh yeah, so-and-so's dates, blah, 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 blah. No one knew. Scar straight up said he lived with him and said he never knew he had a girlfriend. Yeah, and I feel really badly for his girlfriend, and I do wonder if she's in a position that she can't leave as easily, that maybe she's financially dependent. And when we first looked at the apology, I was like, girl, get out of there, you know, leave him, get out of there. But now I'm kind of like, maybe it's not so easy. Maybe I heard she's agoraphobic. So she already is dealing with a lot mentally, and it may be that she just doesn't have anywhere else to go either. Using his persona, fame, position, especially with other smaller women streamers, so kind of his coworkers, is a shitty part. So many men are willfully ignoring when they go, ugh, all he did was cheat, was the big deal. Do you know what's so funny to me? It's like, that's the other thing I was thinking about. Now everyone, not that this is about cheating, it's not, but now everyone is like, oh, it's cheating, boo-hoo, big deal. Everyone's calling him a fucking predator and he's cheated. Yet these same people will go after people whose worst offense is cheating. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like they do treat that as worthy of the gulag. The way that the internet cheating, which that is not the problem in this whole Sykkuno situation, to be clear, but it's like the hypocrisy. It is so unreal. I'm like, hold on, is this the same internet that went fucking nuts over the Coldplay kissing and was like, these people should die? Fuseli was crucified because I know. And like, I am friends with people in that situation. And frankly, that was interpersonal shit that they had dealt with. And that was not the internet's business. Okay. That was something that I will firmly stand on and say that was a situation that had happened and had been resolved, taken care of. The people who were involved in it, the people who were directly involved in it, dealt with that. But it was still the way too that people went after Fuseli and she contemplated quitting streaming, when it's like, yeah, it's messy. It's not that it's not condoning this type of interpersonal drama and I don't know, shit being done, but I just can't believe when I see this same internet trying to go, oh, so what? He's a cheater? And now he deserves to lose everything? The same people who were trying to crucify Kaide for fictionalizing a cheating situation. Same with Sakura. Sakura and Kaide, they created this whole fiction around these girls being cheaters and liars, and we're still going after them. When a famous woman cheats or is perceived to have cheated, gets way more flack than a famous man utilizing his fame to fuck fans. Yeah. Yeah. This- I've seen so many people try to compare it to the Fuseli situation. It's not the same. They're more upset about that when the situation is miles worse and involves so many more people, especially younger girls. That is an entirely different situation. God, these fucking idiots. These idiots. People are so stupid. They're so stupid. They don't know what to do anymore. So many of the men that go crazy of this stuff don't even watch these creators. Those are the people that watch Burnt Peanut or whatever. Yeah, and it's like, again, someone like Lacey is going to have the take that he has because he likes to call women whores. So it's one of those like, oh, well, if we're coming after Saikuno for doing this stuff, then what, are we coming after me? Well... It's interesting. It's interesting how many people, it seems, do a defense of a man like Saikuno because they're really defending their own behavior, their right to behave that way. Yeah. Yeah, it's chill. It's cool. Okay, let me tell you what we are doing for film class tonight. Lord Almighty Sosa, thank you for the 4 months. Tonight, we are going into the world of sci-fi. We have a little sci-fi film from the year, let's see. I was a sophomore in high school, and we were starting prep for Chicago, the musical. It was 2007, and it is also the year that this film came out. This film, which is directed by a guy who made one of the greatest zombie films of all time. Not even in my opinion, I'm stating that as a fact. And it is a film that has a very robust ensemble, a lot of familiar faces. Yes, it is. It is not Happy Feet, darling, but it is the film Sunshine, which many of you may not know. Danny Boyle, the director, made a sci-fi film because it's the one and only sci-fi film he's done, due to the fact that it was so emotionally exhausting that after he finished the film, he said, I am never going to do this again. He said it was spiritually an exhausting experience, and he had no interest in revisiting the genre, but he wanted to overcome his fear of making a film in the sci-fi genre because of the perceived difficulty, especially in trying to balance plot, action, and intriguing philosophical ideas. Amazing score. Going into this one completely blind. Great. So this is a film that stars Cillian Murphy, who also had starred in 28 Days Later. And it was a film that was released in the UK. And what else should I say about it that's not saying too much? It's written by Alex Garland. So the two of them, the way that this came about is Danny Boyle had done a couple films. He did 28 Days Later, which was a huge success. And this was the film that he did right before Slumdog Millionaire. And Slumdog Millionaire is when he won the Oscar. But at this point in his career, he had proven himself, so he got a pretty sizable budget. But he was intending to direct a film called 3,000 Degrees. And that was a film that was telling the story of the war Worcester warehouse fire in 1999 that happened in Massachusetts. It was a devastating fire, but the family members of the firefighters who died, Worcester? Yeah, I want to say it like Worcester, spelled W-O-R. See, that's when English words, I go, what's happening here? W-O-R-C-E-S-T-E-R, Worcester. How the fuck does anybody learn English as a second language? I don't know. Anyway, so firefighters and surviving victims of the fire, they were really upset. They're like, we don't want this being made. And because Danny Boyle is not Ryan Murphy, he was like, okay, heard. And they decided not to continue production on the film. So he then was approached by Alex Garland, and they had worked on 28 Days and The Beach together. And Alex had this script that he had written. And the two of them then spent a year and did like 35 drafts or something like that until they came up with the finished script, Sunshine, and then set about making the damn thing. And I think personally, it's to me a very excellent film in this genre. I think it's one of Alex Garland's better scripts, because my problem with Alex Garland is that he has really great premises and he's got very intriguing ideas, but he doesn't always deliver. He's one of those guys who has flashes of brilliance, but a lot of times swings and misses. When it hits, it hits. When it doesn't hit, which is kind of often, it doesn't hit. But again, when it hits, it hits. And I think Sunshine is very admirable in the mixing of exciting action, but also philosophical and spiritual ideas. And it asks a lot of interesting questions that aren't necessarily answered. And what's in particularly fascinating to me is that Garland and Boyle took totally opposite approaches to this film. Garland approached this from an atheist perspective, and Boyle approached it from a spiritual perspective. And this is a film that has to do with a group of people who travel out to space because they are on a mission to save humanity due to the fact that the sun is dying. So that is all I will tell you for now. Oops. Excuse me. We need to play Mother Nicole. We are not ready for that.
Telling you.
Y'all, I need Nicole Kidman. To stay the fuck away from Charlize, Sandra, Reese, all the gals, until we figure out the fuck is going on. I mean, we know what's going on, but until we figure out the fuck is going on, put a moratorium on Nicole Kidman going to brunch with the ladies. Because I can't handle it. I can't handle it if Nicole in, like, say, the middle of June comes out with a statement like this, like Charlize just dropped. The concept of it being almost May, and we're talking about Timothy Chalamet opera ballet discourse again. We're reheating the nachos. Charlize said in 10 years, AI will be able to do Timothy Chalamet's job as an actor. I need you to understand Timothy Chalamet's job as an actor is also your job as an actor. You get that, right, Charlize? I love you. I love you. You are one of my faves. But do you understand that Timothy Chalamet's job as an actor is also your job as an actor? You are both human beings who are professional actors. So her saying in 10 years, AI will be able to do Timothy's job as an actor, but will never be able to replace live performance like ballet. Holy shit. I cannot believe we are doing ballet opera discourse in the context of AI. Thumbs up. In April. Oh boy, I hope I run into him one day. That was a very reckless comment on an art form, 2 art forms that we need to lift up constantly because yes, they do have a hard time, which is what his point was. He just made it poorly. But in 10 years, AI is going to be able to do Timothy's job, but it will not be able to replace a person on a stage dancing live. Sky, thank you for the 43 months. It's a really funny statement if you imagine she doesn't think Timothy is a good actor. I do like this idea that Charlize views Timothy as easily replaceable by AI because he sucks, but not her or anybody else who she doesn't think sucks. Wasn't she a dancer for an actress? Yeah, so she took that personally. Creepier Leak, thank you for the 29 months. Monty G, thank you for the 19 months. Didn't she confirm his point? Yes, but everything, unfortunately, is so stupid that people will be making the point that someone else made, but they are chastising that person. They are condemning that person, but while making the point that that person was making. Because unfortunately, the way that things have to work now is everyone has to constantly be saying the stupidest thing possible. Notice how nobody's condemned McConaughey for not standing up for ballet? Yeah. Do you know what I also realized? Timmy never came out and said anything about this, which kind of iconic, I gotta say. For as much shit as I've given Timmy C, I gotta say, totally ignoring the never-ending outrage since it is almost May and we're doing opera ballet discourse, the never-ending outrage from many of his peers and, I don't know, every fucking person on this planet. Kind of tight. Good move, honestly, as a hater of him. Very good move. I can imagine, too, that he was talking to Kylie about it, and Kylie was like, oh, just don't worry about it. People say mean things on the internet all the time. She's like, you know, I have so much experience with that, and it's just better if you don't say shit. And I'm sure Timmy's like, I actually don't care. Block out the haters, babe. He's like, nah, I don't care. Reese Witherspoon, AI will replace you unless you get on board. Sandra Bullock, AI will replace you unless you become its friend. Charlize Theron, AI will replace you unless you are a dancer? ? Nicole Kidman, here's how I decided to become a death doula. Let me tell you the story. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. Oh. Tweety bird. Tweety bird. Tweety bird came to me and said, you should be a death doula. God, that's a good fucking tweet. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah, celebs talking about AI, but also simultaneously reheating opera ballet discourse. I love it here. As a pop culture commentator, I actually think we haven't gotten enough opera ballet discourse. And I also think we haven't gotten enough discourse around how AI is our best friend and we need to let it suckle at our teat. Let it suckle the teat. Let it drink up The sweet, sweet human milk. Milky. Milky for the AI. Did we talk about Nicole becoming a death doula? We just did. As a non-theater kid, I had no idea opera ballet discourse was a thing, but in hindsight, it seems obvious. Yes, it will go down as one of the stupidest discourses to discourse of all discourse. Discourse, dat course. Doze course. Let's talk about Oscar-less Timmy Shell. Timmy's like, okay, Jesus Christ, I am not going to go for an Oscar anymore. Heard. Lesson learned. All right, I got it. I got it. Alrighty. This is your opportunity to go get a snack, get something to drink, get your weed or whatever else, get some blankets, get your cats and dogs, get your mom, get whatever you need to make this a cozy Sunday film night.
We come to this place for magic.
For AI. We come to this place for AI. Just kidding.
We come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that, all of us. That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn. Together. Dazzling images on a huge silver screen. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best part of us. And stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here, they are.
They are.
AMC theaters.
AMC theaters. We make movies better. We make movies better. All right, peeps. Codget TV, thank you for the gifted sub. Matt Srim, thank you for the prime. Thank you very much. We really need to find a non-Gal Gadot version. I know. I just have to recreate it. One of these days. One of these days. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let me make sure we got everything ready. So, super interesting, huh? Definitely a lot going on. Definitely a lot going on. And the reason that this film, I think, has been a footnote, an asterisk in the genre is because, one, it's definitely multiple genres. And I think largely it's very much in the vein of cosmic horror. But also, it's one that just doesn't get talked about as much because the ending, the last third, is really divisive. When this film came out, people were really split on the ending. I don't even know if really split is the right way to describe it because I think most people kind of hate the ending. And I think they don't give it the title of a masterpiece or even really consider it in the genre because the last third really kind of feels so different in tone and style, and it feels like then it becomes a slasher and it just doesn't seem like it fits in with the rest of the film. It almost feels like it was written and directed by somebody else. So I get that the ending drives people nuts. It's certainly what drove the critics nuts, and why and why I think it doesn't get chalked up to be a classic. But look, I think it's misunderstood. I think films don't always have to have great endings to be classics. There are plenty of examples of, I think, classics that don't necessarily have the strongest endings, but there's an interesting theory about the ending. Okay, so you have Pinbacker, who there's a lot of what he represents, and I think according to Danny Boyle, who's the director, he represents fundamentalism. He represents the most extreme side of religion, because one theme in this film is science versus faith. It's an existential battle between science, logic, rationality, and then spiritualism, faith, etc. And so Pinbacker, who emerges as the antagonist, as the villain, is representative of fundamentalism, somebody who's completely lost themselves to religious fanaticism, goes fucking crazy. But there's a theory. Now, it's a theory, okay? It's a theory that like some random person came up with. But the theory is that Pinbacker is Kappa. Hear me out. So, if you consider that Kappa has gone crazy and actually is Pinbacker, then maybe if you don't like the ending, maybe it makes more sense. So if you look at it this way, that Kappa has become psychologically deranged because of, I don't know, being on a fucking space mission to blow up the sun in order to save humanity, and all of the nightmares that he's experiencing, the fear of the sun's power, you know, it's present, it's constant, and the lack of oxygen. Also the lack of oxygen potentially has driven him to the point of madness. And there are some things that this theory looks at. So namely, the computer tells Kappa that there are too many people consuming oxygen even after Trey is found dead. He's like, there's actually 5 people left. He's the only one who knows this. He's the only one on board who's told this. So that then mixed with Kappa going crazy could potentially be what leads him to develop this alter ego of Pinbacker, because we know Kappa's not a violent guy. Like, he can't do the violence himself. He votes to kill Mace, but he himself is not a violent guy. So like, if he creates the character of Pinbacker, then he can rationalize killing the rest of his space mates in order to be able to complete this mission. And like, Boyle does not show Pinbacker in the same shot as any of the other characters unless he's obscured. And so that could just be something that he stylistically chose, but could be because Pinbacker is Kappa. Kappa is Pinbacker and Pinbacker is Kappa. And another part is that like, he knows that Mace can physically overpower him because we've seen it happen twice. So that's why he does the thing where he fucks with the coolant tank. So he knows that Mace will then have to go into the coolant tank, but whoever does that then will die. Anyway, that's just one theory. Which, take it or leave it. Take it with a grain of salt. You know, if you want to look more into it, if that intrigues you, then do that. But yeah, I think it's a little convoluted, a little messy. And I don't think at all that that's what Danny Boyle was going for. In all actuality, here's what I think happened. So I think Danny loves horror. And I think he probably got as high of a budget as he did because he sold this as not just a sci-fi, but also a horror, so they could tap into the horror audience, you know, the cosmic horror vibes that you feel throughout the film. So I think it's kind of I think it's kind of classic Danny Boyle. Like there are sequences in that third act that feel like 28 Days Later. You know, I think maybe Danny likes religious stuff. Yes, you can see shared themes in across his films, particularly when he does anything in the thriller, horror, action genre. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much as a lot of other people do. I think it certainly lends itself to this film being horror, being pretty scary. And also, I think the whole thing ties into Kappa's arc, because he's this guy who is very based in he's very logical, he's very reasonable, he's very scientific coded and motivated by science, but he's having all these nightmares. He's having nightmares about the surface of the sun. And even though he goes into the observatory, sometimes he's not as like in awe or intrigued or as inspired by the sun as some of the other characters are. And so he's motivated by unflinching logic throughout the film. He's a scientist, right? He's motivated by logic. But at the end, you see almost this acceptance of something that is greater than him. And so this film is very much looking at the intersection of faith and science, seeing how these two come into conflict, how they battle with one another. And you see throughout the various characters and where they fall on the spectrum of faith versus science. And then Pinbacker, who is representative of the danger of total fundamentalism. But I think Kappa being representative of having the necessary arrogance of a scientist who is trying to fix the planet and save humanity, but also the realization that there are things in this universe that are so much greater than us, and that as much as we can know, we will never know all. And it's like the understanding of our insignificance in the face of endless, vast space and something like the sun, and how he found peace in that. It was like he found peace at the end as he's surrounded by the sun, in the same way that what's his name, Searle, who's the psychologist on board, he is a character who's much more on the like faith side of the spectrum, and he finds peace in taking in the sun. Like he's very in awe of it. We are all stardust. Exactly. We really are just ants. And let me read this to you. So here's Danny Boyle versus Alex Garland's approaches, the various approaches. Alex Garland said he wrote Sunshine as a film about atheism. He expanded on the subject in the introduction of the Sunshine screenplay. A crew is en route to a godlike entity, the sun. The sun is larger and more powerful than we can imagine. The sun gave us life, and it can taketh it away. As the crew travel nearer to the sun, the majesty of the burning star fries their minds. The crew are hypnotized by it, or baffled by it, or driven mad by it. Ultimately, even the most rational crew member is overwhelmed by his sense of wonder, and as he falls into the star, he believes he is touching the face of God. The sun is godlike, but it is not God, not a conscious being, not a divine architect, and the crew member is only doing what man has always done, making an awestruck category error when confronted with our small place within the vast and neutral scheme of things. But Danny, who is not atheistic in the way that Garland is, felt differently. He believed that the crew were actually meeting God. And it's interesting that they had these two totally different approaches. But as Alex Garland writes, the difference in our approach wasn't in conflict with the way in which the story would be told. The two interpretations that could be made from the narrative were the same two interpretations that could be made from the world around us. Yeah, and I think Danny, as the director, is very interested in the visual aspects of that, whereas Garland, as the writer, is interested in the philosophical nuances, which obviously, you know, in the dialogue and all the characters. And I think I think it's really interesting because you have this mission where they have to blow up the sun and create a new sun, create a new star, or else humanity will die. And the sun is both the giver of life and the taker of life. And since the beginning of time, people have worshipped the sun. They have idolized and worshipped the sun. And they view it as like as this transcendent celestial thing. And I think it's not just in this film the conflict between faith and science, but also humanity versus nature. I think that's a big theme in the film as well, is humanity versus nature, humanity versus humanity. If you take Pinbacker to not be, you know, Kappa God mad, and humanity versus himself. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's the hubris of mankind versus the hubris of God. If we save God and killed the devil, Pinbacker, what do we become? Do we become God if we can save the God? Sun, like Icarus, they flew to the sun, but they did not fail because science saved them. Yeah, very funny to name a mission Icarus, which is based on a myth that famously is about a boy who flew too close to the sun and his wings burned off, which is an allegory of human hubris, of greed and hubris. And so I think it's not coincidence that they named the first mission and then the second mission after that. I think they should have named the movie Icarus instead of Sunshine. I don't know. I like Sunshine. I like Sunshine because Sunshine is this thing that I think conjures up positive, warm, no pun intended, feelings. You know, sunshine, it's like very optimistic. It's very optimistic, even though the whole movie is very bleak and very psychologically, very psychologically messy. And, but at the end, you know, the mission was a success. Everybody died, but humanity lived. The Sunshine movie title for this film is subtle because I think that is the optimism at the end. You know, it's like for a film that's filled with so much suspense and tension and horror and is very bleak. It's like at the end, they do manage to complete the mission and there is sunshine again. They made the sunshine again. Yeah. Interesting factoid. Danny Boyle confirms that Pinbacker murdered Trey, staging the death to look like a suicide while Trey was found dead in the crew's quarters after the vote to execute him. 2 scalpels were missing from the drawer, one of which was taken by Pinbacker to kill Trey before he could be executed. But what about the theory that Pinbacker is Kappa? Well, I guess that could maybe still fit. I'm just kidding. I don't buy into that theory, but I still think it's interesting. Also, Sunshine is about life. They are fighting for life itself. Yes. The film was initially supposed to be a trilogy. I wonder if a sequel will ever be made. I don't know. Probably not. They almost landed a franchise. They wanted to continue with the story. Alex wrote 2 other parts. It was supposed to be a trilogy. I don't know. I kind of feel like we're good as it being a standalone. Maybe Alex Garland is not to be trusted with writing a trilogy. He only wrote an outline, but it was a planetary trilogy. It was to do with the sun itself with 2 other stories. While Boyle added that he couldn't remember the plot in enough detail for the other 2 slated films, there was an extraordinary idea in one of them that involved the concept of looking outside and moving. However, the ideas were partly scrapped because Sunshine underperformed at the box office. We might well have done it. Yeah, the movie did no business at all. Boyle also recalled how he tangled with 20th Century Fox over creative differences on the film. I remember Tom Rothman, that's my old boss, then Fox film chief, who is the reason you can only watch 28 minutes of 28 Years Later today. I've had a number of fights with him over the years. Boyle said of working in with the studio exec. I remember him watching Sunshine, and I remember him saying, the only hope you offer, Danny, is that little green plant shoot in that burnt out oxygen garden. There's a little green shoot and you think there's hope, and Michelle Yeoh sees hope. Then you kill her. In that moment, you kill her. You can't do this. Anyway, I remember a big blowout with him about that. As far as for his continued collaboration with Garland, Boyle said, what's interesting is Alex has a natural instinct as a storyteller to want to tell these expanding stories, and that is why 28 Years Later wound up as a trilogy. Well, as I said before with Alex, he is a director who I think his strengths are also his weaknesses. And he definitely swings big, and he has these big, bold ideas, but he doesn't always hit with those swings. You will see a flash of brilliance, but not see that brilliance come to fruition. But he has a lot of interesting ideas, and he creates these intriguing worlds because his premises are intriguing. But sometimes it's just stretched a little thin and there's not much left to consider. But I do think that Sunshine is one of his better films. And I think it's a story about humanity trying to save itself. And as I already said, while the crew members on board of this humanity saving mission face conflict, what comes into conflict is their relationship between science and religion, and humanity versus nature, as well as humanity versus humanity. And there's a lot of philosophical quandaries that arise. And even though the mission starts out and it's very straightforward, then shit happens. And every time shit happens, the characters they find themselves in a situation that's more than just science, like reasoning and logic. It's not going to help them always. And that's where the philosophical quandaries, what is the right decision? Is it right per what's the most logical, or is it right per what is the most moral? And how do you square up these rationalizations with moralizations? And you have to then, meanwhile, contend with all this other shit happening. People like running out of oxygen, being in space, the sun being right there, in danger of being burnt alive. So I think that's where it gets really interesting, is like that broader spectrum where it goes beyond reason and science. I genuinely think it's a masterpiece. I have it in my top 3. It's the closest thing to the level of philosophical depth and existentialism as Interstellar. I agree. I think it is. I think it is a masterpiece, and I think the strengths of this film are the score. The score is unbelievable. Like that scene with Kaneda on Icarus 1, that fucking hits. Okay, that scene alone, I'm giving it masterpiece. You know, that scene alone, it is like the score swells. You see Kaneda in the face of the sun, something that he doesn't treat it with awe in the way Searle does, but he is a character who's on the more faith side of the spectrum in that he is inspired by it. And you see this acceptance, this sacrifice that he makes in that moment. And as the other characters' faces are filled with horror and distress, he looks into the sun and embraces it, snuffing him out. And the chills that I get when Searle is like, "What do you see? What do you see?" Oh, it's chilling. It's truly chilling. So the score fucking rules. And then the audio visual sumptuousness in this film. Now, visually, is it as grand as Gravity and Interstellar? No, but I think it is still masterful. And I think the score really works the sound design works so beautifully with the visual elements. And here's the thing. Visuals create the world, right? It frames everything. It is an obvious, very important aspect of filmmaking as it is a visual medium. But the audio is what really brings it home. And this is why the difference between good sound design and great sound design is the difference between a good film and a great film, because great sound design sticks with you. Great sound design is what really cements the world that you are thrust into and is what you remember long after you've watched the film. And it's just there's so much memorable, just intricately designed sound in the film. The production is truly unbelievable. And then it's accompanied by the score, which John Murphy did the score. Adagio in D minor is an incredible song. It's used in a lot of film trailers and documentaries after Sunshine came out. A lot of other projects use that song. And then the visuals, it's just technically so masterfully done. And there's a lot of just really gorgeous cinematic moments. So it's hard. I don't know. Even if you're like, yeah, but I hate the fucking ending. It's like, well, okay, but how about the rest of it? You know? How about the rest of it? The movie opens up and it sets such a perfect stage because there's this really dramatic slow pan into the sun, and we open with Cillian Murphy, and the sun gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it's passing us, as we're rotating around it. And then you realize that you've actually been seeing it through the refractory shield of Icarus 2. And you have not even seen the strength of the sun in its fullness. Like you're just seeing it through the refractory shield, and just kind of the magnificence of that, and the realization of holy shit, that's just the reflection. That's just off the refractory shield. Yeah, it really, really sets the tone. And so, you know what, if you I'm not gonna fight people on the ending. If you don't like it, if you're like, this just kind of felt out of place for me, sure. But I mean, come on. Everything else though, and then the costume design, that is the coolest fucking spacesuit I've ever seen in my life. Also, anonymous gifter, thank you so much for the gifted. That is hands down the coolest spacesuit. We're talking the 24 karat gold Labubu spacesuit. Dripped out. The performances are great and they carry the film a lot, but they are hilariously bad portrayals of scientists and astronauts. Well, they did have actual experts working on the film, namely Brian Cox, who's a physicist. He worked specifically with Cillian Murphy. They used quite a few scientific advisors, futurists. They had astrophysicists. They had people who worked at NASA. Not Brian Cox, the diva. Not Brian Cox, who's out here talking shit on everybody. Brian Cox, the lesser known Brian Cox, who is a famous physicist. Well, famous, I mean, I guess as far as physicists go. I just don't see how you can give this above a 610. I just disagree. I totally disagree. I just think it is. And like I said, I'm not going to fight people on the ending. I don't need to die on that hill. But I think it's a classic. I think it is. I just think it's so masterfully done with the elements that I described. And I also think, look, this is not a straightforward sci-fi film. Okay, there's a lot going on here. And do I think all of it always works? No. Do I think this is definitely one of Alex Garland's better films? Absolutely. I think it is ambitious in its philosophical questions and themes. And it doesn't always line up well with the action and the thriller elements of the film. It doesn't always work, but I think it's just a really unique film in the genre. And the other part of it is that it's definitely Lovecraftian as fuck. And I love cosmic horror. I love Lovecraft. And I think that existential dread, I think that fear of the unknown, and when you are in space, there's so much unknown. And I think it's like the realization of humanity's insignificance in the vast unknown that is equally terrifying, but also reassuring. Like, to me, I'm not a very spiritual person, but I'm also, I don't think like Kappa. And there is something beautiful about the realization that we are insignificant in a universe that is totally indifferent to us. Have you seen The Expanse? I have seen season 1 of The Expanse like 5 times. The feeling of sublime. Yeah. Yeah. It is sublime. Only the first season. Yeah, I don't know why. Will and I have watched that show so many times, but for some reason we've just never gotten back on 6 out of 10 is solid. I was not shitting on it. Oh, okay, that's fair. I mean, look, the first 2/3 of the movie is a solid 8 out of 10. The last 2/3 kills it. No disrespect. I get that. I get it. I get it. I think the other thing too is that when I saw this film, I had never heard of it. Like, I was not aware that Danny Boyle had made a sci-fi film sandwiched in between 28 Days Later and Slumdog Millionaire. I was like, well, that's random, but okay, I'm going to watch this because Will Neff loves this movie. I'm surprised he hasn't watched this for film class. Maybe because it's just never popped up, but he loves this movie. And he was the one who's like, I was trying to find something one night, and he was like, have you seen Sunshine by Danny Boyle? I was like, no, I've not even aware. So I watched it, and I think I was just kind of shocked. I was like, God damn, how has this been hidden in the shelves of sci-fi films? And I do think it gives it that sleeper hit kind of status. You know, it's like it's very sleeper find. And look, the score, you know, the score. That scene with Hiroyuki, it just fucking hits. It just hits, you know? Should I watch 28 Days Later? Never heard of it till now? Yes. 100%. Another one like that is Moon. Also a film that we have watched for film class. Excellent. Sam Rockwell is incredible. I cannot believe he was not nominated. Caroline, are you celebrating tomorrow? Oh my God! Y'all, my favorite holiday. Has it already been a year? I don't even know what day it was today. It's the 19th? Has it already been a year? TBT. TBT to last year when I ordered weed for the first time in fucking years. Tomorrow, we shall honor. We should also watch clips tomorrow of a year ago when I ordered weed and then had to call the weed guy like 5 times because I couldn't figure out the weed. I was like, hey, it's me again. Yes, happy anniversary. We'll celebrate tomorrow. Maple Tigs, thank you for the raid, buddy. Hi, everybody. Hey, all my buddies. Welcome in. We just actually wrapped up watching the film Sunshine, which is a film directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. Came out in 2007. I think it's a fucking banger and definitely one that has gotten lost in the annals, in the anals. So if you've never seen it, sorry, you just missed it. We just finished, but go check it out. Please tell Maple that he has motion. Why? Does he think, were you guys talking about motion? Sunshine is beautiful. Dude, you are a film head. You're a film head. You're a film dude. It is gorgeous. I agree. LOL, no, I had Oliver. Oh, you have Oliver on tonight. I hope that was well, or I hope that went well. He's awesome. I had him on 2 weeks ago, something like that, and had a lovely conversation. So I hope all went well. My first and only Letterboxd review. Hansel and Gretel get baked. Anyone can make a movie. Yes, shout out to 420 last year. Hansel and Gretel get baked. Honestly, a better film than I thought it would be. I'm like, this film is better than I thought. Can we get another weed movie night? Yeah, if not tomorrow, then soon. We'll get another weed movie night soon. You know, Linkin Park did a music video in Chester and the guys were in space and watching the sun as well. It was based on the film Sunshine. The song came out back in 2007, the same year that film came out. Wow, Chester and the guys went to space. Just like Katy Perry would years later. I don't know that song. Let me see. Let me see the music video. Sunshine by Linkin Park. Is it this? Or is it this one? Is there a difference? And in the 2000s, we really did love songs that were like, remember me when I'm dead. I mean, honestly, that's my vibe. If I were to
Enrico
be...
Fermi is one of the...
If I were to be... I don't know if I'll watch this whole thing, but this is Brian Cox. Yes, this is the physicist who worked on the film. If I were a musical artist, I honestly think I would make songs like that all the time, and they would be solely directed at will. They'd be songs like, when I'm dead, I know you'll be sad forever, and you definitely should be sad forever. And just remember that I might come back as a ghost if you're not sad forever. If you don't do enough dramatic things to mourn me, I might have to come back and do a little haunting, 'cause I need you to be sad forever when I'm gone. When I'm gone. When I'm gone. You better be sad forever. Something like that. Whoa. Or like, I don't know. How many pictures do you have on the walls? Definitely not enough of me. I think you should put up more pictures on the walls and probably everywhere else in the vicinity. Everywhere should be a picture of me. And please make sure that it's really one where I look pretty. Maybe one of my headshots or the photo shoot from China. Something that I look really fucking good in. Ba-da-ba-ba-beep-beep-beep. Those are pretty good, but
I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck.
That is not the vibe it was giving.
Drink my beer. I just want to catch my fish, drive my fish, drink my fish, not wake up. I just want to cut my fish, feed my fish, swear my fish. I just want to catch my dog, drive my dog, drink my dog. I just want to fish my fish, truck my truck, beer my beer. I just want to not wake up. It ain't easy being fish in this country nowadays.
Okay, honestly, that song fucking hits. Dead wife montage? Yes.
I'll be seeing you again. I'll be seeing you again.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Drink my truck, fuck my fish. Drink my fish, I mean fuck my truck. I mean fuck my drink and fish my truck. No, back to fuck my truck and fuck my fish. Yeah. and drink my piss because I might as well. I'm already fucking my truck and my fish. I forgot what I was watching, but there was a dead wife transition. I nearly lost my shit because all I could think of was yours. Yes, I am the OG dead wife. The terrifying possibility of the great filter. I just want to watch like a minute
The
of
great
this.
physicist, legendary Italian physicist, who laid many of the foundations of modern 20th century physics, so-called Fermi-Dirac statistics and all sorts of things. If you do a degree in physics, then you will spend a lot of time revising equations and theories that Fermi did. One of the great legends. The Fermi paradox is it's probably the thing he spent least time on, actually. It's almost one throwaway remark that he delivered. And the question is, where are they? By they, I mean aliens.
Oh!
The Great Filter. Why civilization?
Whoa! That was not what I was expecting. Where are they? They being aliens. Hell yes. Hell yes. So this is the guy who was hired to advise the cast and the crew of Sunshine. And Danny hired him after he saw him on a TV series and was like, that guy. Not that other directors don't do this, but Danny Boyle does this a lot where he sees somebody in something and is like, that person, that's the person that I want. Whether it's an astrophysicist or it's Chris Evans, who's in Fantastic Four. And he's like, that guy, that person. So yeah, he's a renowned physicist, and he advised the filmmakers to scale down the nuclear device in the film from the mass of the moon to the size of Manhattan. In the film's backstory, a cue ball enters and is caught in the sun's Earth, or in the Earth's sun, and begins to eat it away. And according to Cox, the sun would not be dense enough in real life to stop a cue ball, but filmmakers then took creative license. And then in the DVD commentary, which, damn, we need that back. I know we don't really do DVDs, but damn, we need that back. Emily is broken. She's going to retire from streaming. No, she won't. It's fine. It's all good. There's always shit that's happening, but I mean, retire eventually, but yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, but anyway, so he said that there were several inaccuracies that were permitted to allow for plot, which I do love. I do love this kind of the concept of drama on a film set with the physicists and science nerds and experts who they hire to consult, right? To like help them shape this fictional film into something that at least resembles real science and how things might actually be. But granted, there are creative licenses that are taken. And just like how much it must kill the person who is hired in that position, in this case, Brian Cox, where it's like, well, look, there's some things that you're willing to part with and then others that you're like, absolutely fucking not. Are you insane? Are you insane? But he did have the film's back and dismissed criticisms of the film by other scientists. And he said, look, Sunshine is not a documentary, okay? It is a fictional film that is an hour and 40 minutes long, and it's trying to get the feeling across of what it's like to not just be a scientist, because there's so much more in that. And so he said it was very funny to see people getting upset because the gravity is wrong in the film. And he was basically like, look, you fucking nerds. Look, you fucking nerds. You gotta let it go. Who gives a shit that the gravity is wrong? Listen, you gravity nerds. Are y'all talking about Project Hail Mary? No, but Project Hail Mary is similar in that the sun is also dying. and a guy, well, multiple people, but it ends up one guy goes on a mission that is a mission they know is a one-way mission to save the sun and save humanity. And their heads didn't explode in space without helmets. Yeah, but scary enough stuff happened. I like when movies work within actual science. It can create interesting situations. Yeah, I'm definitely not a person who's going to be mad that the gravity is wrong. I am more interested in characters and what we got going on, you know, thematically, and all the elements that make up the film. I'm less interested in the accuracy of the science in a sci-fi film. One, because I'm just not a super duper science nerd. Shouts out if you are. It's just it's not my strength, okay? I'm a theater kid, but I like when at least it seems smart. When it seems like, yeah, that feels real enough. Obviously, I think you can usually tell when something is taken with liberties, but yeah, I like it looks smart enough. It looks smart enough. And I just think sometimes you might not have as much fun watching a sci-fi film if you get too lost in the weeds. And if Brian Cox, who's the physicist and is out here talking about Fermi and aliens, if he can say, let it go, let the gravity, let the way that they depicted gravity, you got to let it go. I appreciate the lengths that Interstellar went to with physicist Kip Thorne, but I like Sunshine too. Yeah, and look, Sunshine is really obsessed with the themes of the film. It's very much focused on the philosophical questions, the cosmic horror of the world that they have built out, and the arc of Cillian Murphy's character Kappa, who is representative of somebody who's kind of caught in the middle, I think, certainly at the end, as he embraces the unknown, as he embraces this thing that is so much greater and filled with mysteries that maybe we shouldn't even try to figure out. I just want to kiss my fish. Hell yeah. Then do it. Unless it's weird. Nolan does it all the time. Logic and stuff is ignored for the sake of story. Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. Especially if you're doing a sci-fi film that mixes in horror, you know? If it's not like purely sci-fi and you're bringing in stuff like cosmic horror, then you're going to get a little funky with it. It's a fictional movie, not a documentary. Yes, and that is exactly what Brian Cox said. Tremors, thank you for the prime. It's soupy out here. Thank you for the 2 months. Let me think any other last. I like the theme of humanity being the biggest hurdle. Yeah, because at the end, you think the sun is the big bad, but then you have this character of Pinbacker, and whether or not you think that was kind of crazy, it still, I think, is an interesting. I think it's an interesting way to show who the real villain is. And this is also like the humanity versus nature. This is hubris, hubris of scientists, hubris of people hubris that is necessary, like arrogance of scientists that's necessary because you're trying to solve problems in the world. But also it's like a lot of problems that are created by humans. Well, kind of all of them, but problems that are created by humans, but also like how going up against nature requires some semblance of not hubris. It's like of reverence and respect, and that is the character of Michelle Yeoh. Humility. Yes, thank you. That was the word that I could not find. I was like, what is the opposite of hubris? Humility. That is Michelle Yeoh's character, where she is on the spiritual side of the crew, but hers is towards nature. Like she cares. She's plant girl. She loves her plants, and when you see at the end, she holds the plant that made it, one little bud that made it through the destruction, and the significance in that. And then as she's holding that, Pinbacker comes and stabs her in the back. You don't have to be spiritual to be a plant person. That's true. But she definitely treats those plants like they are God. Which, I got to say, if I'm on a mission to blow up the sun in order to save humanity by creating a new sun, and I'm definitely not coming back because we're all going to die, I would probably become like psycho plant girl. I would probably find something like that I could just, I would be like Nicole Kidman with Tweety Bird. Oh, the plants. Oh, look at them. They're so beautiful. Oh, the plants. Oh, Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird. I thought that she took the plant because she knows she's dying and would become soil for the plant. Well, yeah. I mean, in her final moments, she wants to be with the plant and wants to give the plant. It's all about the plant, right? It's all about that life. It's all about that nature surviving, even in the face of total destruction. I'm going to become best friends with a rock. Yeah. Whatever gets you through. It's how, that she's even in this like really bleak, dark, horrifying moment, that she hangs on to her faith. She hangs on to the thing that she has held on to throughout the whole mission. She just wanted to kiss her plant. Okay, you know what? That too. She's like, I don't have a fish, so I guess this will have to do. I just want to kiss my plant. I just want to kiss my plant.
My name is Caroline. My name is Caroline.
My name is My name is Caroline. My name is Caroline.
Okay, sure.
It's nice to meet. My name is Caroline. It's nice to meet
I'm
you.
not really super concerned about
Today
people's
is April.
voices that
My
are like
name
just.
is Caroline. My name is Caroline. My name is Caroline.
Is there like a sing-song one?
My name is Caroline.
What the fuck is this?
It's nice to meet you.
And why do I look like an
My
old
name is
Asian
my name is
auntie?
Caroline. My name
Tomodachi life? Why is there this photo of me? Okay, this is a pretty nice photo. So as to go back to Will having pictures of me all over, this is one that he can use. You and Sam are getting along.
It's weird, but I fly out of bed in the morning, ready to take on the day.
Trust me, you fly out of bed at about noon. Let's be honest. Okay, let's introduce you to every.
Okay, that is not true. I have been waking up earlier. I usually have been getting up around 9:30. It's just that that night, I smoked myself into a weed coma and I slept through my alarm. And yeah, I woke up when she came into my house.
Everybody on the island. Hey guys, there is a new person. Are they going to make their way over there on their own? Here, you got to go.
She's doing the thing. She's doing, which mind you happens. Yes, exactly. Sam is doing the thing where, oh, I'm Sam. I've been going on my runs. I've been going to bed earlier. I've been waking up at 9. Look at me. Oh, I'm super runner girl and waking up before noon. Guess what? Her ass is going to be right back to going to bed at 4 a.m. and waking up at noon. Oh, yeah. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. Then it'll be like, oh, I gotta get back to go to sleep. Because that's how it works. That is how it goes down. You think that you get your shit together and you're not going to bed at 4 a.m. And then you're right back there. You're like, how did this happen? How am I back to my same bullshit? Look, I'm always going to be a night person. I just prefer to be a night person who's a little bit earlier. A little bit earlier. Did you ever go into your perspective on this story?
You know, give me the wave, and I kind of throw one back at her, and she looks at me like this, and I threw her a little. I snapped off a little wink because she smiled.
He has told this story to every single person in our life.
And I swear to you, I have never experienced this. I don't know if Caroline has told this story yet, because I would love to hear her unadulterated version of it. But this woman came up to the window of the car, and I thought she was about to give us instructions. And she goes, young woman, you know how lucky you are? Look at this hot man you got in the car. He looks like a young Brad Pitt. My God. And then she looked at my car and she goes, and he's rich. Sheesh. Get out of here before I take him from you. And I went, and Caroline was like, what?
You should have said take him. Okay, when I tell y'all, he has been riding that high. Well, here's the first thing I said. When she said he looks like a young Brad Pitt, I went, well, minus the abuse. I don't know if she really heard me, but Will has been riding this high from this thing that happened. It did happen. It did happen exactly how he told it. Where we're just sitting in the car waiting to get into the parking lot for the Dodgers game. I didn't see him wink at this woman, but next thing I know, an older black woman comes over and she says exactly that. She's like, he looks like a young Brad Pitt. Do you know how lucky you are? Like, basically, Will then afterwards turned to me. He's like, yeah, you are pretty lucky, aren't you? I was like, oh God, here we go. Here we fucking go. No, this was after the car chase. Yeah. See, he's like, do you know that do you know how many women would be so happy to be with me and put up with all the farting and everything? And I was like, well, I'm telling you right now, that woman who said that you looked like a young Brad Pitt, who said that if I didn't, I don't know, hold on to you, or that she would take you, she would get your ass into formation so quick. If you try to pull some of the shit that you pull, she wasn't thinking about the farting. If you try to pull some of the shit that you pull, the Will Neff habits that come along with the whole package, guarantee she would send your ass to boot camp. Yeah. Handro Raw, thank you for the 42 months. Kaylor, thank you for the 14 months. No, it was a sweet and funny moment. I was very taken aback because, like I said, I did not see the wink in the first half, and so I just saw her come over and then say what she said, and it just took me by surprise. I couldn't really. Why is he winking? I think she was like, I think she was kind of looking, and then he just did one of those, like, like, hey, queen. And then she came over and was like, he looks like young Brad Pitt, which I think Will's incredibly handsome. He has a lot of doppelgangers. I don't think he looks like Brad Pitt. You think he kind of does? Obviously, I think Will's a hottie, but I don't think one of his doppelgangers is a young Brad Pitt. I kind of wonder if that was like the only white, the first famous white guy that she thought of, where it's just like, yeah, Brad Pitt, you know what? That works. Like, here's this white guy who's handsome. Who's a handsome white guy? Brad Pitt. There you go. I think she was saying he looks like a hot movie star. Yes. That's what she was saying. They vaguely have the same coloration. Do you mean white? Do you mean white? Excuse me, Will is not white. He's ginger. Yeah, that's correct. Pull up Brad Pitt and Legends of the Fall. No, I think they're just both white. Y'all are doing white man blindness. Y'all are doing white man blindness. But it was very sweet. It was very sweet, and she was saying that he's handsome and charming and has money. And you know what? Back to if I become dead wife, the whole me, do I need to run back some of the songs? I'm like, well, Will, at least you've already got somebody who come in and take over. Just make sure that there are plenty of pictures of me everywhere. That it's like you open the refrigerator. There's pictures on the refrigerator, and you open the refrigerator, and there's pictures in the refrigerator as well. Yep. All right, y'all. I would love to keep chatting and giggling and laughing. I have to go deal with some personal stuff. I gotta go deal with that. Yeah. So thank you for joining me tonight. And this is a good break from the personal stuff I've been dealing with. So glad we got to watch this film. Sorry if there's anything I forgot. You know what happens is, like, every time I watch, I just need to write stuff down as I'm going along, because as I'm watching the film, I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. And then inevitably I'll end stream and be like, damn it, I never mentioned this thing. But I thought that was a fun discussion. Gave you a couple musical numbers. What more can we ask for? Truly, just trying to do it all. Say hi to Farley for us. I will. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow night. And tomorrow is the #1 holiday. It is 420. So Chuggies, Skullho, all my all my 420 adherents, and there's a lot of y'all in here. Plenty of y'all. Tomorrow is your day. Tomorrow is your day. Are we doing something? Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to grow weed on stream. I'm going to figure it out. Just going to do it. No instructions. Just going for it. Kind of crazy, but that's what I'm about. All right, I'm sending you to Sam with whatever the